You're listening to the Power Agent Blogcast, empowering agents to elevate their business to the next level.
Challenges are just a guide, leading you, don't run and hide. You've got the heart, you've got the drive, feel it pound, you're alive. Power Agent.
Welcome to the Power Agent Blogcast. If you've ever watched Survivor, you know how quickly that game can change. Alliances just shift. Challenges pop up out of nowhere. And right now, the real estate market, it feels a lot like that. Things are evolving fast. And for you, as real estate agents, this really demands a fundamental rethink, a reprioritization of how you operate. So today, we're going to focus on those core areas needing your attention as you navigate this dynamic environment.
It's true. The strategies that worked before, they aren't hitting the mark universally anymore. The established ways of doing business are definitely being challenged. And what's critical now, adaptability isn't just a nice to have, it's basically the cost of entry. This change, it can feel unsettling, but it's also a real opening for agents willing to, proactively reassess their priorities and how they tackle their work.
Okay, let's drill down on that. Reprioritization. If agents need to shift gears, where should they be putting their energy right now for the best outcomes?
Well, a big one is the commitment to continuous learning and training. Especially when you factor in potential economic shifts, ongoing professional development, it directly impacts your ability to actually generate income. Think of coaching and training less like an expense and more like a foundational investment in your career, your future. Legal changes, market dynamics, they're constantly reshaping the industry. Staying informed, staying prepared through education, that's just essential now. Like understanding how vital digital marketing is becoming or getting good at virtual tours. That's a key focus area.
That sounds right. Logically. But I hear from so many agents who feel, just swamped, overwhelmed with the daily grind. How can they possibly find time for this ongoing learning when they feel like they're just constantly putting out fires?
And that's the core problem, isn't it? So many agents are stuck in this cycle. Constant activity, focusing on what's right in front of them, but maybe overlooking the things that actually build long-term productivity. Consistent prospecting, for example. You've got to ask, is all that running around actually leading to results?
To the bottom line. And what's interesting is how often that feeling of being too busy stops agents from doing the very things, like coaching or specific training, that could give them the skills to be more efficient, more competitive.
So it's almost like a catch-22. Avoiding the learning because you're busy actually keeps you busy and maybe holds back your future growth.
Precisely. And it's not just about missed opportunities either. Neglecting to stay up to date on market shifts, on relevant training, that can open you up to serious legal risks too. If you feel you don't have time for professional development now, just consider the potentially much larger amount of time you might have to spend later, recovering from errors or just trying to catch up in a market that's moved on without you. Okay, let's shift to another area where, I see agents sometimes making reactive choices that might hurt them long term. Marketing. When things tighten up, it seems like the marketing budget is often the very first thing on the chopping block.
That's a very common reaction. Reducing expenses feels like the safe play during uncertain times on the surface. But if you look at the bigger picture, market dynamics, this can actually be a huge strategic advantage. When lots of agents pull back on their marketing, maybe because they're nervous or it's a slower season, it creates less noise out there. But that is the perfect moment for proactive agents to actually amplify their presence. For instance, while everyone else cuts back on social media ads, a consistent targeted campaign can suddenly get a lot more attention.
So while others fade into the background, the agents who keep their marketing going or even increase it, they have a much better shot at grabbing clients and market share.
It's exactly right. When your competitors are cutting back on marketing and maybe on skill development too, it creates a clear lane for those agents who step forward, who refine their expertise, build stronger connections. This proactive approach really lets you stand out and grab opportunities others are just overlooking.
This all seems to tie into another major risk factor, getting too comfortable, complacent even, in this market.
Oh, definitely. Complacency in a market that's changing this fast, it's incredibly dangerous. Think about it like trying to navigate a ship in thick fog, but with no radar. You might feel like you're moving, but you have no idea what hazards are out there, what your limits are. Agents who skip ongoing training might find themselves totally unprepared when the market suddenly zigs or zags, or when new rules require a whole new way of doing things, a sudden jump in interest rates. That needs a different negotiation strategy. A complacent agent might just not have the skills ready.
And it's not just about being unwilling to change, is it? It's also about potentially losing the ability to adapt effectively.
That's a really critical point. Agents who aren't prioritizing continuous learning, they might not just lack the will to adjust. They might lack the actual knowledge, the fundamental skills needed to handle new market trends, new tech, different client expectations, in a business that increasingly rewards innovation, expertise, and solid client relationships. Complacency can really lead to becoming ineffective quickly.
So it sounds like this reprioritization isn't really about choosing between doing deals today and learning for tomorrow. It's more about weaving that learning, that adaptation into the very fabric of your business strategy every day.
That's exactly it. It's recognizing that the agents who make preparedness, informed choices, and adaptability just part of how they operate. Those are the ones who won't just survive change, they'll actually thrive because of it. Going back to that survivor idea, the game starts the second you hit the beach. Complacency gets you voted off fast. The ability to adapt quickly, strategically, is absolutely paramount for staying in the game long term.
So the real takeaway here is that staying engaged, constantly learning the right skills, proactively shifting your strategies, these aren't just good ideas. They're essential, imperatives really, for navigating and truly succeeding in this evolving real estate world.
That nails it. That's the key.
So as you're listening to this, maybe take a moment. Think about how you can build that continuous learning, that adaptation into your daily routine, your weekly plan. It's not just about getting through the current market. It's about setting yourself up for sustained success well into the future. Look for those growth opportunities. And remember, that proactive adaptation, that's the winning play in this ever-changing game of real estate.